Hello on this wonderfully cold day. I'm just over the Gleeblands near to where I live, watching my step, and it is so cold today. There's ice everywhere. I think Uncle Albert said it the best when he said it's so cold the flame on my lighter froze. That's one of those days. What I wanted to ask you was a simple question. Is your estate agent unknowingly sabotaging the sale of your property? Well, we all know that selling is probably 80% psychology. That's why those big companies spend billions and billions of pounds every year through marketing and advertising trying to sway us to their product. Now, estate agency is no different. But sadly in the UK, we live in a market that is unregulated. You don't have to have any qualifications to be an estate agent. You don't have to go on any courses to be an estate agent. All you have to do is register with certain financial obligations, and you can open your doors tomorrow. And then they expect you to trust them with your biggest asset in your home, which is worth hundreds, millions of pounds sometimes. So is your estate agent accidentally and unknowingly and unwittingly sabotaging the sale of your property? Well, a study was done in the US quite some time ago where they paid an actor to wander through a busy park, and this actor had in one hand he had the lead of a dog, so he was walking a dog, and in the other hand he was carrying a cup of coffee, and he would approach 100 random people. As he approached these people, the phone in his pocket would ring. He would stop, having the dog in one hand, coffee in the other, and he would hand someone the coffee and he would say to them, "Would you mind just holding my coffee a sec?" The person would take the coffee. He would then take the phone out of the pocket, turn it off, put it back in his pocket, take the coffee back, and then walk away. And the key to this was 50 of those 100 people were given a cold black coffee, and the other 50 were given a warm white coffee. Those people were then stopped further down the path by a second actor, and that second actor approached these people and they would say to them, "We're doing a survey. I'm willing to pay you $20 for 3 minutes of your time. Would you be happy to do the survey?" The 100 people did the survey, and all they did was they showed them pictures of property, the same property, and the results were staggering. Those people who were handed a cold black coffee described the property as cold and dark and a bit glim and a bit miserable, and really they didn't get a good vibe, a good feeling about it. Those who were handed the white coffee, the white warm coffee, described it exactly as that, light and warm and nice and a good feeling about it. It was the same property. All the difference was that they had been psychologically influenced 1 minute earlier down the same path. Now, when I was in Dubai, we would never ever hand out a warm drink because it was just too hot. But when you walked into a property, we would never hand out a cold drink. We would always hand out a lukewarm drink or room temperature drink, because we didn't want them to be walking around that property with holding a cold bottle, because that affects the way you think. Now, this might sound a bit woo-woo and all that kind of stuff to you, but psychology is a massive trigger. So if your agent is doing an open house and they're handing out cold drinks, that person's walking around that house, and you ask them, "What are you feeling?" Well, what are they feeling? They're holding a cold drink. They're going to tell you what they're feeling. They're feeling cold. They're not liking it. It's not a nice or pleasant feeling. But again, in the midst of summer, you wouldn't want to hand them a warm drink either. So what we used to do, we used to hand them the lukewarm drink or a room temperature drink. And majority of the time they would say, "Oh, no thanks, it's not cold." And I would say to these people, do me a favour, this water is absolutely stunning. Take it home, put it in your fridge. And they would. Because what that would do, if they actually did it and they took it home and they put it in the fridge, they would carry that warm bottle around that property. And they would get a sense of warmness to it. And they would think it was nice and pleasant and all that kind of stuff. And then when they went home later and they put it in the fridge and they were drinking the water, the first thing, that water would be a trigger to them to think about the property, because that's where they were given it. But secondly, they sat in their home now with a cold bottle of water. Their feelings towards the properties are influenced by what's in their hand. So, is your agent unknowingly, psychologically affecting the sale of your property?